Join us for the very first IFL Live at London's Indigo at the O2, Sunday, August the 13th, with me, KUGAN CASSIUS, and some very special guests, Eddie Hearn, Darren Barker, Johnny Fisher, and more. Tickets now on sale. So in the words of Eddie Hearn,
you get up, you dress up, and you fucking show up.
This is KUGAN CASSIUS for IFL TV. Delighted to be joined by Mr. Chris Eubank Jr. How are you, Christopher?
Exquisite. I am exquisite this early Vegas morning.
Yeah, what time is it there? It's not that early, is it?
No, it's 10 a.m. It's quite early for me. I'm not usually a morning person. I trade in the afternoons. I like to do evening sessions as well, evening runs, evening cardio sessions. Saying that, I've very recently switched to morning workouts for the first time in years, as I now have a new trainer and a new team, and that's the way they do things. So I'm following their guidance and their training schedule. So it's interesting. It's an adjustment, but we're making it.
Okay, well, listen, let's come to that first. Obviously, yeah, we learnt the news this week of your say split with Roy Jones Jr. You'll be now trained by Bomac, who's obviously been very much in the public eye over the last weekend. Can you just talk to me about that situation with Roy Jones Jr. and why ultimately that didn't work out for you?
He said that he has other obligations. He has other fighters that he had promised to train and for their fights at this time, because obviously this is this wasn't the fight schedule that was supposed to be. The fight's been pushed back multiple times, and he'd made commitments and he couldn't get out of them. So it is what it is. We move forward, we move on. We've got a new trainer in Bomac and his team. They had an amazing result over the weekend against Errol Spence. Terence Crawford proved that he is one of the pound-for-pound greats at the moment. And to watch that performance, it gives me a lot of confidence. It gives me a lot of belief in this team. So yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to work with them.
Chris, are you saying that the reason for you not continuing your relationship trainer-wise with Roy Jones is because of a timing issue? It wasn't anything else. It wasn't because, I don't know, tactically, or just it wasn't working in any kind of way from your last performance, etc. You're saying because he didn't have the time to commit to it, that's the reason why you weren't continuing with Roy Jones. Is that accurate?
Yeah, I mean, we're still on good terms. He was training me for he was training me during the build up for I can't remember what the date was. I think it was June. Whenever we were supposed to fight originally, me and Smith, he was training me for that. He came out. We started the camp, and then obviously it got pushed back. And for whatever reason, he couldn't commit to this camp. We're gonna find out if that was for the best or for the worst. This training team that I'm now with, it is a team, which was different to what Roy was. Roy was doing everything on his own over the last few camps, whereas Bomac has an infrastructure, yeah, they're very professional. They know what they're doing. So yeah. Maybe this is, it was meant to be. The stars aligned. They were in Vegas. They were training. I spoke to Bomac before the fight. showed interest. You know, I told him, you know, I don't have a trainer. And he said, all right, well, listen, after this fight, let's get to work. And that's exactly what we did. The next day we were in the gym.
So how long have you and Bomac had together?
About a week now, maybe less.
And the fight's less than 4 weeks away.
Yeah. So listen, you know, there's not going to be any. I have in my mind what I'm going to do, and that's not going to change. You know, how I was going to approach this fight. You know, it's like I said, it's too late to change. It's too late to change tactics. It's too late to change me as a fighter 4 weeks before a fight. But they're going to add as much as they can. They're going to help me prepare. They're going to get me fit. They're going to get me in shape. They're going to get me mentally structured. We have a game plan. Yeah, they're going to help me to do what I need to do. You know, I'm not gonna. If I had no trainer, I'd still know what I'm gonna do. But obviously, having this world-class team around me now it's only gonna help. It's only gonna be an advantage for me. And yeah, we're gonna go in there and get the job done.
Chris, I don't think it's unfair to say your trainer situation throughout your career has been quite wild. And at this stage of your career now, what is it specifically that you're looking for in a trainer that can get you over the line, give you that extra edge to make sure that you win this fight against Liam Smith? What is it you're looking for?
What is it I'm looking for? You know, for me, it's always been about trust. It's always been about belief. I don't trust people. I don't believe. Naturally, I'm always just like, all right, well, yeah, you know, you're saying all this stuff, but how do you know? Roy Jones was proven. I couldn't argue with anything he said. I could not believe the thing he was telling me because he did them. That's why I listened. That's why, you know, we worked so well in the gyms. And it's the same here with Bomac. He's got a proven track record. He showed it on the weekend with, you know, one of the pound for pounds in Terence Crawford. So you can't argue with the things he's telling you. You know, I know that if he's saying prepare this way, do this, do that, that it's coming from a place of real knowledge and it's been tried and tested and it's proven. And that's what I need, you know. So yeah, I'm just looking for somebody who knows what they're doing and that can handle me and that can tell me the things I need to hear, you know, throughout my camp and on the night.
For someone who has a perceived reputation over the years of possibly not listening to everything from their trainer, at this stage of your career, is that different now? Do you take every instruction from Bomac? I
don't have that. That shouldn't be. If that is a perception that people have, it shouldn't be. It can't be because I haven't been trained. Who's been training me for my whole career?
Well, you've had multiple trainers.
I haven't. I think Adam Booth worked with me for one fight. You know,
you've had 5 or 6 different trainers, haven't you, for different fights? That's multiple trainers.
No. That's an absurd thing to say. You know, my old man has been in the background my entire career, but aside from him, there was, you know, like I said, I worked with Adam Booth for maybe a fight. And aside from that, I was training myself up until a couple of years ago, when I started working with Nate, and then I went from Nate to Roy, and then from Roy to Bomac. So that's
4.
Okay, 4. But
including your dad.
those last 3 have been in those last 3 trainers have been in the last 3 years. I've been fighting, 10, 11 years. So I wouldn't say it's been crazy. It's just or I wouldn't say I haven't listened. That can't be true, because I haven't had the trainers to not listen.
I'm only going from comments that Ronnie Davies has said to me in the past before about you not listening.
I mean, Ronnie, he's the first person to tell you that the best way to handle me is to not tell me anything, just to let me do my thing. He's always telling that. He's always saying that. If Ronnie's ever said something to me, I've always listened. But he's the type of guy who's just like, all right, let him do his thing, and that's what we did for years. Mm. I'm not too prideful. I'm not too big-headed. I'm not too egotistical to not listen to a trainer. If I've decided, right, I'm gonna have this guy in my camp, of course I'm gonna listen to him. Like, it wouldn't make sense not to. I'm paying you to be a trainer. Of course I'm gonna listen.
Chris, you have made some comments over the last day or so regarding Conor Benn's situation. Just wanted you to touch on that, and some comments that you'd already made regarding UKAD, etc.
What comments did I make?
Do you want me to read them out to you?
Sure.
One second. Okay. So you made comments to mirror fighting, saying lawyers and court hearings and essays, and Eddie Hearn saying all these things. He's saying it doesn't mean anything. The fact is you got caught twice and no one's ever going to forget it. It doesn't mean you didn't do what you did, because you did do it. You want to say, I'm absolved and it was a big misunderstanding. Bullshit. Boxing's a business. I still want to fight him. So the fight will be made at some point. Do you remember those comments you've made in the last day? Yes,
I remember them. Okay. What about them? Well, that's nothing new. That's nothing I haven't said multiple times already to the public.
I asked you.
You guys know that's my stance.
What's that?
I said you guys know that's always been my outlook on it.
Okay. I asked you at the last press conference before the fight got postponed about why the fight with you and Conor Benn didn't take place for the second projected date. And you said it's because something that you didn't want to do. There was talk after the second postponement of the fight with Liam Smith that fight was back on the table. So it must have been something that you were interested in prior to this Liam Smith fight being announced for September the 2nd.
Eddie did a lot of talking, and a lot of that talking was, he was chatting a lot of breeze, as we like to say. A lot of the things he was saying were just not true. The fight wasn't close to being made. There was no, agreements, and I always said that I need to get Liam Smith first. That was always my number one target. I did entertain, the possibility of fighting Conor. I mean, in terms of looking at the contract, well, not looking at the contract, but listening to the numbers and hearing what they were offering. But nothing was ever agreed. I never said, yeah, all right, I'll fight him, but this and that. I never made any. I never implied that I was going to fight him to Eddie or to Matchroom. Like I said, it was not the right time. He hasn't been officially cleared. And I have unfinished business, with Liam. So, you know, that fight isn't going anywhere. That fight can happen at any time. So I'm not in any rush. You know, I need to right this wrong. I need to avenge this loss first. And that's what we're gonna do.
Chris, just because we're pushed for a little bit of time, September 2nd in Manchester, you believe that you will, in your eyes, put a wrong right and defeat Liam Smith?
I have to. I have to. I cannot let this man have 2 wins over me. That would be a huge, you know, it would be devastating. I know I'm a better fighter than him. I have to go out there and prove it. At the moment, there's an argument, you know. There's an argument to who's the better man. A lot of people will say, listen, he has a win over you. He's a better fighter. But you know, there is the argument that I was dominant in the first 3 rounds, and anything can happen. And you know, he got lucky. He pulled out the miracle. If he does it twice, then there's no argument. He's just a better fighter than me. And you know, I can't live with that thought. You know, so I have to go out there and I have to prove what I'm saying is right, that I am the better fighter, and that I'm going to you know, do what I say I'm going to do, which is teach that boy a lesson.
Chris Eubank Jr., thank you very much for talking to IFL TV. Like I said, we are pushing a bit of time, but we will definitely catch up with you again fight week in Manchester, September the 2nd on Sky Sports Box Office.
Okay, appreciate it.
Appreciate your time, Chris. Thank you very much.
All right.
Join us for the very first IFL Live at London's Indigo at the O2, Sunday, August the 13th, with me, KUGAN CASSIUS, and some very special guests. Eddie Hearn, Darren Barker, Johnny Fisher and more. Tickets now on sale. So in the words of Eddie Hearn,
You get up, you dress up, and you fucking shut up.